Hi everyone, my name is Bree, and the social justice issue I chose to write about for this project is on climate change. And so I'm just going to go through and kind of summarize all the findings that I found and the information that I found, and I will post the link to my Prezi below my video so that if you want to go and read more in depth, you are more than welcome to. So first off, climate change is causing a huge impact on social, economic, and health of vulnerable communities. So groups will likely face greater challenges than others, and communities who are seeing the most impact are communities which are already filled with existing inequalities and injustices. Low-income countries, people of color, indigenous people, women, and people with disabilities are more exposed to the devastating impacts of climate change, and those can be things like floods, wildfires, severe drought, increased temperatures, as well as rising sea levels. The main issue with this is that marginalized people don't have access to funds to be able to relocate or deal with the causes of climate change, and so it becomes a social issue at that point. Another issue with climate change is that it's expected to increase health risks associated with water quality problems like contamination, and it may reduce the availability of water, particularly during droughts. There's no question that climate change is a social justice issue because it's threatening human health and well-being. And climate change is affecting communities worldwide. It's escalating environmental threats that are deeply intertwined. And there's no single group of people who will not face challenges of climate change, though some groups of people will have greater difficulty adapting. So Earth's climate has changed throughout history. In just over the last 800,000 years, there have been 8 cycles of ice ages and warmer periods, with the end of the last ice age around 11,000 years ago, marking the beginning of our modern era. So the climate changes that we saw with these changes previously were very small variations, and they were due to Earth's orbit and the amount of solar energy our planet receives. There is definitely correlation between human activity, which have produced higher atmospheric gases, and that's ending up being trapped in our atmosphere. And so this has warmed the ocean, the land. It's caused widespread and rapid changes in the ocean, cryosphere, and the biosphere. One of the big issues that has to deal with climate change is that our population in the United States has grown rapidly, and it's grown mostly in coastal areas in the southern and western regions, and these are areas that are most sensitive to the climate change effects. So during my research, it was pretty common to see that this is a newer issue that social workers are beginning to take attention to. And social work scholars have described an eco-social work perspective, which values the ecological environment and recognizes that the well-being of all people should be addressed through climate change. Social workers ultimately understand that they have an important role in developing effective responses to environmental change, and they're committed to reducing health disparities by improving access to healthcare and addressing needs in climate change as climate change continues to evolve. So this can be seen at the micro level with individuals, groups, and families to implement practical strategies to address immediate needs. It can be seen on the meso side with community engagement and organizing, and at the macro level of institutionalizing and policy change and research regarding climate change and how it affects everyone. So I also provided 2 links here. The first link explains how social workers have been brought into the issue of climate change, as well as their values and beliefs about the issue of climate change. The second link that I provided is a great resource for understanding why social workers have been called stand up for climate change. Well, stand up for people who are affected by climate change. It's a public issue, and social workers agree environmental justice is important to creating an equitable environment for all. So future action is really hard to come up with one answer, but we can all take action by reducing our individual impacts on climate change. There are small steps, but they do make a difference. So saving energy at home, using public transportation, reduce, reuse, and recycle. I think the biggest thing that social workers need to understand is that climate change is still heavily debated, but they can work on a community level to create awareness about the effects of climate change, which then can move on to that institutionalized and policy changes that we can see at the higher level of government. My personal plan to reduce my effects on climate change is to reduce my personal footprint. So, reaching out to state officials, signing petitions to approve clean energy, and then again, like reduce, reuse, recycle. And it can be something as little as replacing paper towels for hand towels, so that we're not continually making that waste that just doesn't go anywhere. So I did post 2 more links under the Learn More. The first link is a link that will take you to a website that will show you every state and what the expected effects of climate change will be for that state. And regarded, we've already seen a lot of it. The second link I posted is to learn more about the impacts of the impacts social workers have and how climate change is affecting all people. My last page is just my references, and that is all. So I appreciate you guys for taking time to watch my video. Thank you.